there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. But if you did, I'd be very grateful. So, thank you so much if you did subscribe, or if you've already subscribed long ago. Very much appreciate it. Hey, what do you say we do a random ranking? Let's go to my movie collection behind me and pull out 3 movies at random and then rank those movies based on whatever criteria we come up with. I'll rank them here in the video, but if you'd like to rank them in the comments below, please feel free to do so. And you can use whatever criteria you'd like to come up with. It doesn't have to be mine. I don't always even list what mine is, but it could be nostalgia. It could be, based on your favorite director, your favorite actors. It could be the box art. It could be really anything you can come up with. But yeah, again, if you'd like to rank them, please do so in the comments below. Let's get to picking 3 movies right now, shall we? All right, maybe something straight down here from the bottom. And then this one over here from the bottom as well. Ooh, it's a Blu-ray. And then, who knows? Let's try this on for size. We got to make sure I've seen these movies, because if I haven't, how am I going to rank it? Seen it? Seen it? Seen it. This is funny. Just yesterday, we ranked Over the Top, starring Sylvester Stallone. Guess what we're ranking today? That's right, you heard it here, straight from my mouth. Cliffhanger is what we are ranking today. I actually showed this to my wife, maybe even this year, either this year or last year. If it was this year, it was early this year, and I think it was this year, because she was getting really into, like, stories about people climbing mountains, like Everest, and gosh, what did we watch? Like, I don't know, she was reading a book. There was that movie, maybe it was called Everest. I actually can't remember, with Jake Gyllenhaal and another guy who was in like Terminator Genesis or something. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, she was reading a book by this journalist who went on this expedition, and then a movie was made about it, and a made-for-television thing was made about it, and then I was like, you know what we should watch is Cliffhanger. So we watched this, and it was great. I mean, I had a fun time watching it. Lithgow's in this, and he's awesome, because, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say I don't know him as a villain, but when I think of him, I don't think of him as a villain. But honestly, my first introduction to Lithgow was Santa Claus the movie, where he's a villain. So you would think that would imprint on my brain, etch it into my brain that he's a bad guy. But you also had things that I grew up with, like Harry and the Hendersons, right? And if you have that sort of in your brain, you're thinking John Lithgow, good guy, because they want him to draw Harry as a scary, ferocious beast with like crazy, scary teeth, and he's like, no, he's not like that. He's not like that. He's a member of our family. So, I think that sort of trumps all the villainry that we get from this movie and that we get from Santa Claus the movie. But he is great in this. I also like him as Winston Churchill in The Crown, and he's great in... Oh, siren's going off. He's also great in Interstellar. I also love him in the Planet of the Apes movie with James Franco. Terms of Endearment. He's great. Great actor. And I love him in this. Sly Stallone is awesome. I love when this is parodied in Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls. Great film. Next we have Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks. Alright, this... Actually, I haven't watched this yet. I've seen the movie, but I haven't watched this copy of it, I guess I should say. But this is kind of interesting. Who am I looking at there? Is that William Hurt? Yeah. Demi Moore's in this? Man, it's been so... I've only seen this one time. Kevin Costner, Demi Moore, Dane Cook, William Hurt. But I do like this movie here. I've only seen it the one time, but it is sort of like, what is that called? Like when you have typecasting, when somebody's cast sort of in a specific type of role all the time, it's going away from that. He's leaning away from being typecast, Kevin Costner anyway. And I thought that was refreshing. That was cool. I did enjoy this movie, but it's not like it's one that I return to, but it's one that I would like to return to. I'd like to see this again. I always remember the story of Dane Cook when Dane Cook was working on this movie with Mr. Brooks, with Kevin Costner. And he said, I think he was in a limo with him or something, or maybe I'm thinking of the movie, but I think he was in a limo with him. And Kevin Costner was talking about how The Postman, that movie The Postman, that totally bombed. He was talking about that movie and just like the experience of maybe reading the script or something like that, or I don't know, just something going on before production. And he was like, excuse me. He was like, that's when I knew I had to make that movie. And then Dane Cook, Dane Cook, then just to rib him a little bit, made the joke. He's like, oh, wow, that's great. When does that movie come out? But that movie had been out for years. But he said, when does that movie come out? Basically saying, like, nobody saw that movie. It was a bomb. And, just got a little bit of a laugh there. But yeah, remember when Dane Cook was in movies? Now he's like messed with his face so much that he doesn't even look like a real person anymore, to where it'd probably be difficult for him to even be in a film. I always liked Dane Cook in Dan in Real Life. He's very good in that. Next we have The Florida Project. This movie is awesome. This movie is so good. It's an A24 movie. It's wild what A24 has done. I mean, when you think of the early days, you think of movies like this. You think of Spring Breakers. You think of other stuff. But this movie's so good. I think it would have been cool if it was nominated for Best Picture. Willem Dafoe was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. But this film right here, if you are a Disney fan, if you love Disney, watch this movie. Because these kids here in this film live outside of Disney World. They don't have opportunities to go to Disney World. It's just way too expensive for them. So what they do is basically, and I don't even know if they necessarily know they're doing this in the movie, but they create their own Disney World through themed motels that are around them, through farms that are around them, through abandoned buildings that are around them. And through those things, they sort of create their own little Disney World. And it's amazing. It's very, very sad. It's difficult to watch. It makes me cry when I watch it. And I just think it's one of the best things that A24 has put out. It's probably in my top 5 of A24 films. I'm not sure if it can be beat. It's a great movie, and if you're a Disney fan, you might check it out. The references are good, but have meaning, I think, beyond just like, ooh, look, I know what that is, I know what that reference is. There's more to it than that when you think about what Disney World is, the people who can go to Disney World, versus, I don't know, versus almost sounds violent, but you know, in contrasting that to those who live directly outside of Disney World and aren't able to experience that bubble that exists there. Anyway, next I'm going to rank them. How am I going to rank them? Easy. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to go the Florida Project. Also, the Florida Project, you can think about that in a number of ways, which I think is great. You know, projects, a type of housing. Uh, I believe, I think, I'm not sure if that's like any sort of official term, but like I believe it's more of like a slang or nickname term. But you can think of like project in that sense in the movie taking place in Florida. So projects that are in Florida, or uh, Walt Disney, Walt Disney World, its code name early on, how he referred to it was called the Florida Project. So the Florida Project is Walt Disney World Resort. So yeah, we're gonna go with the Florida Project as number one. Then we're gonna follow that up with the wonderful Cliffhanger. And then we're gonna end off with Mr. Brooks right here. So my question to you is, have you seen these movies? These three right here. Look at that thumbprint right there, fingerprint. But yeah, I want to know if you've seen these movies that I'm holding in my hands right here. And if so, what do you think of them? What do you think of these three movies? And if you've seen all three, how would you rank them? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.